can't hear you. You must be muted.
Can you hear me now, Terry?
Yes, now I can.
I don't know what happened to the countdown on my end. The countdown just stopped. It's been one of those mornings, Terry, where things just don't work the way they want to work for me, my man. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either. So
you look pretty good in that number 3, Terry. Where'd you get that?
Yeah, I got that yesterday. So
you look fantastic, my friend.
Yep.
But you got it yesterday. But where? The question was when did you get it? The question was where did you get it from?
Well, I went to our website, Horse Racing Today, and was able to order it there. So,
and if you want to look as good as Terry, bang, there you go. Just head on over to horseracingtoday.net, click on the HRT gear, and you too can look fantastic in the blue 3. I don't look as good in the brown 13, but hey, that's reaching for the stars, Terry. I'll accept the moon.
Okay, sounds good.
Today we are going to do practice our craft today, Terry, at Turf Paradise today. Sorry, I was a little bit behind today, which is one of those days where nothing seemed to want to go right for me in the morning, but here we go. And we're going to start off in race number 1. And what's interesting about today, Terry, in race number 1 is, our friend CC Perkinson has a horse today, right?
Yes.
So guess what I have to do? I have to wear my red scarf.
That's right.
There you go, because these don't fit. So there we go. I'm looking mighty. Now I'm looking like French almost.
You look good.
I'm dapper. I have to change it to Dapper Rich.
That's right.
All right. So race number 1, Terry, for Dapper Rich is 6.5 furlongs, claiming $8,500. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. If we take a quick look at 6.5 furlongs on the main track, kind of horse CC will need to win. 98 races, 70 of them have won by speed, 38 of which have gone wire to wire, and most of the post positions play pretty fair. So I know, Terry, that you're kind of crunched for time today. So let's get cracking right away.
All right. So I like number 7, Crazy Good. She finished in the money in the 4 out of her last 5 races and won 2 of those. She has the highest last race speed rating, and the trainer wins 29% of the races after claiming, bringing back a claim repeater. And then I like number 2, Chick Stig Money. I think she's a better dirt
and
horse.
And guys with red scarves, 3.
Yeah, and guys with the red star. I think this horse is a better dirt horse than a turf horse. And she has finished in the money 2 out of 2 races, both at Turf Paradise and at 6 furlongs, winning one of those races. Now I like number 8, Heart River. Won her last race at Turf Paradise. The trainer wins 44% of the time in the first race after a claim, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like number 1, Dewdroppin'. Finished 3rd versus similar in the last race, and the jockey in the last 7 days has a record of 21 starts and 7 wins.
Well, I'm going to start the same way you started with. Crazy Good has by far the best early pace and late pace combination in the field. And early speed should be able to carry the tempo from start to finish here. 7 of the 8 in this race are chasers or closers. And there really isn't a horse with what I would call a true front runner with 1s across the PPs. So I think horse gets to the front, should have a pretty good shot. Candy Spun could be the lone speed in a paceless field. Cutting back in distance, however, could reduce the advantage, because you see those horses that get out to a big lead early on a mile or so in routes. When they cut back to sprints, they're not quite as fast. Number 8 is Heart River. Trainer Priscilla Leon has won 4 of 9 races after a claim and just has these crazy return on investments, ROIs. $14.80 positive claim off, a positive ROI off the claim. She has a $6 positive ROA for claim repeaters and a $10.65 positive ROA when the horse goes up 2 classes. And how could I wear this, Terry? This nice red scarf making me Dapper Rich if I don't put in Crookhaven Lass. That's Cece's horse. I expect this one should be close to the front all the way around the track. Did win CC. This horse did win the last time out when it ran at Turf Paradise, but that was only 4.5 furlongs. I think the extra 2 furlongs, though, probably works to CC's advantage here with Crookhaven Lass. And I know without question she has on the red pants. And if you watched the last show, then you know she's thinking about me, Terry.
That's right. Absolutely.
Absolutely, 100% for sure. And how can you not think about me, Terry?
I don't know. I do all the time. So
Race number 2, Terry, is 1 mile on the turf, optional claiming 10,000. Non-winners in one lifetime for a purse of $25,750. Profile of a winner of a 1 mile turf runner at Turf Paradise. 48 races, 32 of which were won by horses that get to the front. 14 went wire to wire. You do have an inside 3 bias here, Terry, and an 8+ bias, which is better than 4 through 7. The distance here does favor front runners. 5 of the 8 in here have only won closing recently. There is one what I would call horse that gets ones across the PP types in here. One of them, there are a couple of them, but one of them is Cheap Speed, and the other that should tuck in behind the leaders and has the legs to run by him late at the end. This race is my best bet. Number 3, Optimistic Valor. Terry, this one looks so obvious to me that it worries me because the horse won last time out pretty easily, drops off the win, but it is an optional claiming race, so it is not a horse that is available to be claimed. And I'll show you a little bit later on in the past performances in these optional claiming races, how to know when a horse is being up for a claim and not.
okay. Sounds
So what
good.
do you got here in race 2?
Okay, I like number 3, Optimistic Valor. Valor, just like you do. Won 2 races in a row and is going for a hat trick. And the trainer wins 50% of the time when he drops a horse off of a win, which is what he's doing here.
Mm-hmm.
His best turf speed is the fastest among today's starters, and the trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 3. Then I like number 4, No Longer a Hobby. He will be closing to try and win this race. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 10 races, finishing in the money 5 out of 10 times. Then I like number 5 as my third pick, T-Bone's Trick. Finished in 4th place after breaking slow, but was very competitive and always in the mix in the past. The trainer wins 19% of the time in the second race after claiming a horse, and the trainer in the last 14 days has won 6 out of 15. And then I like number 6, Golden Tiger. He likes Turf Paradise and the distance, winning 2 out of 5 races there in both cases.
So I already told you that I like number 3, Optimistic Valor, as my best bet. Again, I said it looks too obvious, but the horse is dropping off a win, and it's not in for a price, so the trainer's not at risk of losing the horse. Number 6 is my second selection, NK Rocket Man. It must be North Korea Rocket Man, right?
Yeah.
Is the speed that's been able to go wire to wire, and this one should be better in the second start off the break. Number 5, T-Bone's Trick showed some nice race improvement at the 2 furlong mark, at the 4 furlong mark, and at the end in its last, and does have the top late pace figure number, and it's not even close. Nobody else is remotely close to that same neighborhood or area code. Number 4, No Longer a Hobby, showed major 2 and especially 4 furlong improvement in its last race. And No Longer a Hobby's resume says should be better in the third start after a layoff. Terry, before we get off to race number 3, one of the new things we're going to add today and going forward is a handicapping tip. So today is your handicapping tip day. What do you have as your Terry tip to do better at the track?
All right. Well, I like to think about looking at consistency. I think consistency in a horse is very important. So I look at the percentages for the following. Number 1, percentage of placing at the racetrack it's going to compete today or that day. And then number 2, I look at the percentage of the placings at that race distance that it's going to race. Then I look at the percentage of the first place finishes during the present year, and then the percentages of how much it's finished in the money in the present years. Now, these are not all of the consistency items to consider, but they are some of the major ones.
All
okay.
Right. Sounds good, Terry. So now we're going to go off to race number 3, where your consistency is going to be put to the test, because this is a maiden claiming $7,500 race, and none of these horses have been anything remotely close to consistent. And when you look at a 5 furlong race, Terry, the profile of a winner at Turf Paradise, 48 races. Hold on a second. I have to readjust. My 48 races, 33 of them were. I don't wear scarves, so I have no idea how to do this because I'm one of those men that thinks that scarves aren't for Anyway, 48 races, 33 won by speed, 17 have gone wire to wire. You have a post position, the rail, and the 2 and 3 plus the 8. So the inside and outside. So I would call that the barbell approach. Outperforms 4 through 7. So how are you going to handle this inconsistent race with your handicapping tip of the day?
Well, I'm going to take one of those ones that you said outperforms. I'm going to take number 2, Kiki My Star. She ran second versus Tougher in her last race after coming 8 wide into the stretch. And she drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number 8, Dizzy Lizzy. Comes in from Golden Gate Fields, which is something I like.
You think that was somebody's girlfriend at one point or what?
Probably was, yeah.
Probably.
Anyway, she comes in from Golden Gate Fields after showing early speed for half a mile and then now cuts back to 5 furlongs, which will benefit her because she tried a mile the last time. She returns to the dirt, which may also help her improve, and the trainer wins 19% of the time when running a horse in a maiden claiming race. Then I like number 6, Dr. Angel, finished in third versus Tougher in the last race, drops in class today. Trainer wins 22% of the time when running a horse in a maiden claiming race, and the shorter distance should be helpful. And then number 4, Rockin' In. Her debut race was disappointing after steadying at the start and finishing 6th. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and she drops in class today.
So looking at race number 3, Terry, the pace setup, as we mentioned, this is a low-level maiden claimer. There's really not a whole lot of early speed in here from the experienced horses. The 2 first-time starters obviously are unknown, but I would pay attention. This is a little bit of handicapping trick. Wasn't meant to be my tip of the day, but anyway, my handicapping tip of the day. But a lot of times with first-time starters, pay attention to the odds when they first break. And if those horses get bet down pretty heavily right away, it's sometimes an indicator that the folks at the track like what they've seen from that horse in its practice. Anyway, I expect that there's a good possibility one of the front runners could go wire to wire in this group. I agree with you. Kiki My Star is my first selection. The horse is making a slight drop off of the top last race speed figure. And you know, Terry, how I like when the horse drops off that top race speed figure. Yep. That speed figure was the 3rd consecutive increase in a row. And in that race, Kiki My Star showed more in the first 2 and 4 furlongs than it did in the previous start. Number 4, Rockin' In, was decently bet in her debut, but got off to a pretty tough start. So maybe a little better start this time out might be the difference. Horses dropping in class for trainer Lyman Perrin. Hope I got that, Lyman, who wins 11 of 38 races so far this year in the maiden claiming ranks. And that's a pretty stiff, like about 27%, something like that. A good number. Dr. Angel finished behind the top choice, Kiki My Star, last time out. She too improved in her 2 and 4 furlong numbers. And again, a slight drop here. Finally, number 5, Hi Kelly Babe. Looks to me like it's the better of the 2 first-time starters. And quite honestly, even with the horses that we've mentioned so far, doesn't really look like there's a whole lot to beat here in race number 3. Race number 4, Terry, closes out I forgot to keep our picks up here. Race number 4 closes out the early pick 4. This one's 1 mile, claiming 8,500, non-winners of 3 lifetime, Terry. This is a couple different things for you and I. First of all, it's your long shot, something that we're introducing today, where we're looking for horses that we can put at the top of the ticket that have morning line odds of at least 5 to 1. We can't promise you, of course, that they'll be at 5 to 1 at post time. A lot of times horses that we find value in, so do other bettors. 1 mile on the turf, Terry, has a profile of a winner of, let's see, there are 136 races so far, meet to date, 86 won by speed, 23 going wire to wire, and it doesn't really matter what post position you carry. Tell us why you like the 6 horse as your best bet, and then I'm going to walk us through my box it up.
Okay, number 6.
And that is your best bet, as your long shot, excuse me.
Long shot, yeah, and it's listed as 6 to 1 on the morning line. And number 6, Warriors Herald. I think he is better dirt horse than he is turf, and he's finished at Turf Paradise on the dirt at today's distance in both starts, and he won one of those. So he finished in the money in both starts. So now he's going back to dirt. Number 5, Black Alley Cat. Had plenty of trouble in the last 2 races, so I will defer to the 3 races back where he won at Turf Paradise. He drops in class today, and the best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters. The trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has been in the money 4 out of 7 times, winning 2 of those. Then I like number 4, Add On. Won 2 races in a row and then tried tougher horses and ran a disappointing 8th. Now he drops back down in class, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 7 out of 21 races. And then number 2, Off the Books, won last race at Turf Paradise and received the highest last race speed rating. And the trainer wins 34% of the time the first race after claiming a horse. Trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days have been in the money 5 out of 12 times, winning 4 of those.
Off the books. I hope that's not how you ran your business, Terry.
No, I didn't.
So box it up. This is on the books. Oh, that's not box it up. That's box it up. This is where we take 4 horses, put them together in a $1 exacta box, a 50-cent trifecta box, and a 10-cent superfecta box, Terry. This race at race number 4, when you look at the field in here, there's a little bit of everything. We have as many as 5 horses that could try to take the early lead. Only 2 of those have won where they've taken the lead and held the lead. There are 3 that can pressure the lead and still continue on to bring it home at the end. And then the rest are chasers and closers. And a 4th that might decide, a 4th that's kind of in the middle, that can chase if the pace is too slow and can close if the pace is too hot. So I think you're going to see a pretty good mix of running styles in here. I like number 2, Off the Books, as my top choice. First off, the claim for trainer Justin Evans. And when you look, he wins at that like a 27%. That's a good number. When he keeps the horses in claiming ranks, he's won 34 out of 100. You don't need to be a calculator to calculate out. That's 34% win rate. Pretty good. Horse does have the top late pace figures in the field, so should be hugging the lead and have a shot to run by him at the end. Number 5, Back Alley Cat. One again, one of my favorite angles, tied for the top last race speed figure, dropping in class. Horses run at the distance. Been a little bit of a Bob Dylan horse with the five races. It has 1 win, only 3/3. And then looking at the late pace, it's another one that can charge at the end. Number 8, Beverly Gulch. This horse has the top early pace and late pace combination, and it's not even close. It's by a wide margin. So this one's running the first time at a mile or more. So it's its first route. So I expect the horse to show more pace than you've seen when it runs at a longer distance. And then finally, your long shot, Terry, is my 4th choice. Warrior's Hero was a tough call for me over number 4, Add On. But this one returns to dirt. And on a fast track, this horse, which is what you should get at Turf Paradise today, on a fast track, the horse has 7 races, 2 wins, a second, and 4/3. If you add them up, that's 7 out of 7. And then on Turf Paradise, dirt is run twice with a win and a place. Again, you add them up, Terry, and that's 100% as well. So easy math for me this morning.
Yes.
And race number 4 is also the end of the early pick 4, Terry. And I think we did our hot dog pick 4s to start the day.
Yes, that's
There
correct.
You go. So you went the traditional route of 3-2-2-3. That's
yes.
At least for you and I, the traditional route, right?
It is, yes.
And I went a little bit crazy here, Terry. I opened up with 5 horses in that first leg. Want to make sure, so you know, there's a 8 horse field. I got 5 of them, so you know the winner is going to be in the other 3.
Yeah. Well, that first race is pretty wide open. Matter of fact, most of these races today are wide open. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping to catch a price right there, huh?
Yes, that'd be nice.
Have you ever had such a bad day you hate horse racing and take a beating yesterday? Awful, such a bad day. I have a phone that can attest to that, Terry.
Yeah, I know you do, and I heard about it. Yeah, and I've had days where I couldn't win a thing. So, yeah, I understand how Jared's feeling right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had one of those days. I was in one of those contests yesterday and won the first race. I'm feeling good about myself. In the second race, my horse had the lead until about 20 yards to go, finished 3rd, so I didn't get any points. The 3rd race, my horse had the lead about 5 yards to go, finished 3rd. And at that point, my temper, which I've worked on, I don't usually have a temper, but not anymore. But my phone went flying. I got to get a new screen today, Terry. And I feel bad about that. But in any case, I'm going to single up that 3, taking a stand. And I did like you, Terry. I allotted my entire budget today on the hot dog.
Yeah.
I was a bad boy with my phone and with my with my hot dog pick 4, spending every single dollar. It was so bad I hit 6 in a row, then 23 losses. I was like a son of, yeah, well, it happens like that sometimes. This game can be really streaky, and that's why one of the things, well, the better than I guess hurting my phone is better than this. But it's one of those things where money management really is the key. Like when you're having a bad day, you have to position your money in such a way that you have a budget, and when your budget is gone, you go home for the rest of the day. Maybe you take a couple bucks and you buy yourself a nice blue number 3 like Terry over there, and you'll look fantastic even though you had a crappy day.
Yep, that's true.
All right, let's move on to race number 5 because, as I mentioned, Terry's up against the clock today. This one is a maiden optional claiming $30,000, 5.5 furlongs on the main track, Terry, and at 5.5 furlongs, 73 races, 62 won by speed, 31 won going wire to wire, and the post positions play fair. Before we go on, Terry, I did mention that I was going to show folks when you're looking at the program how you can tell if a horse is in an optional claiming race and it's available to be claimed. Mm-hmm. And because I think for a lot of people, this is one of those you don't really know unless you know, right, how to look for it. So and I use Brisnet past performances. So this is made an optional claiming.
Right.
And normally when a horse is available for claim, there is a price tag right here in this empty spot. And you see there's no price here. There's no price here. There's no price here. I hope this is the right race. There's no price here. Maybe I'm in the wrong race. There's no price here. There's no price here. Must be in the other optional claiming race, Terry, where there is a price. So I'll bring it back up when we get to the other optional claiming race, because when there is a horse that's in for a claim, you will see the price right here. So maybe that's a little bit later on, but we'll come back to that. So who do you like in this race?
I like number 9, McLean's Bella. Finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, and she has 2 good workouts in a row. One on March 15th, the 35-3 handling, 3rd best out of 11, and then a bullet workout on February 20th at Turf Paradise, 36-4, best out of 5. Then I like number 5, Wedding Chapel is my second pick. She came in from Southern California and was not able to show her true colors as she was bumped at the start of her first race here at Turf Paradise. She has shown a lot of early speed in her starts, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 6 is my 3rd pick, Eyes of Gold. Finished 3rd versus similar and only start, receiving the highest last speed rating, and was well bet in that debut. Number 4, Curling Blessings. Finished 4th in her first 2 races in a row, and the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 2, which, as you said in math, is 100%. And she has a couple of good works in addition to that.
Yes, that math is absolutely perfect, Terry. Let's hope your picks are the same.
Yeah.
This is another here. You have 3 first-time starters versus 6 with some experiences. Of those horses that have raced, 4 want the lead. So that could be some pace. You add in any of the first-timers that try to giddy up and go out of the gate, it really could get quick. So I expect the winner to either be the speed of the speed, so the one that can discourage all the other front runners, or one that sits behind the pace and does have the late legs to come home. Number 6, Eyes for Gold, should be that horse that can sit right off the lead and has the best late pace numbers in the field, was well bet in its debut, and has a decent workout sense. I like that when horses have a nice workout after being bet and not really firing as well as the public had hoped. Number 9, McLean's Bella, has been well bet in her last 2 races, showed some 2 and furlong pace improvement last out, and has some early pace in this race, and additionally gets a weight break. And here's another little handicapping tip. Every 5 pounds, I think, is supposed to be a half a length, so 10 pounds would be 1 length. Number 4, Curling's Blessing, improved nicely in the second career start, has a fast workout since. So I'm expecting that if the horse has some further improvement in its third career start, should be enough to get this horse close to the finish line first at the end. And then finally, number 3, Tap Me a Text. Looks like the best of the first-time starters in here, Terry. And quite frankly, even with the ones I put on top, it doesn't really look like there's a whole lot to beat in here. Race number 6 is here. Box it up, Terry. And
Correct.
race number 6 is a 1 mile optional claimer, purse 12,900. And when you look at 1 mile, we talked about that real quick, but a fast profile of a winner looks like this: 136 races, 86 won by speed, 23 going wire to wire, and all the post positions play fair. And I was just off by 1 race on the optional claiming thing. So let me pull this back up, and the answer will be there right away this time. You can see here, this is an optional claiming race, 4,000. And here you have the $4,000 price tag. So that means the 1 horse disputed is available for claim. If you travel down here to the 3 horse, for example, it's 5 somewhere. You do not see a number, which means that horse is not in for a tag. So if you're ever wondering, like when a horse drops off of a claim like that into a position where it's in an optional claiming and you're wondering if they're trying to get rid of the horse, if you see a number here, that means they probably are trying to sell it, which would be a red flag to me. And if there isn't a number there, then it's not a red flag to me. All right, Terry. So this is your box it up. Why don't you let me pull it up on the screen, and then you can tell us why you like and why you like it, or what you
All
like
right.
and why you like it, right?
Yeah, well, in my box it up, what I try to do is find races that are a little bit wide open, and they're going to have some pretty decent prices. So in this race here, I like as my top pick, number 8, Second Bold, came in from Northern California, Golden Gate Fields, which I guess isn't liked by Jared. Anyway, ran second in his first race after being crowded in the turn, and he's improving every single race. Then I like number 4, Perfect Comeback. Won last race at Turf Paradise, getting the highest last speed rating. He has a trainer jockey combination that in the last 14 days has won 3 out of 9. Then I like that number 1, Disputed. Has performed well at Turf Paradise and in the past, and likes the distance. Comes in from Sunland Park after finishing 4 out of the last 5 races in the money, and the jockey in the last 7 days have won 3 out of 10 races. Then I like number 5, Kona Coast. Won at last race at Turf Paradise, has the last race, the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters.
All right, Terry, that's your box it up. Before we go forward, I mentioned today, in case you're wondering why Rich has on this red nice scarf, our friend Cece Perkinson. Her horse is running today in race number 1, and to give her some additional luck, you know, she'll be wearing the red pants today. Thinking about me when that horse crosses the finish line. So it's Monday. You can win a CC Perkinson signed hat by going to YouTube, taking a screenshot that you're subscribed to our channel. Hi, look, we're right there, Terry. Taking that screenshot, go ahead and send it to Sean either on Twitter or Facebook at Horse Race Today. Hell, you can even post it on Instagram at the same social site address if you'd like. And then tonight we'll be back at 8 p.m. and Sean and I for Horse Center, where we'll talk about some horse racing news, but we'll be also talking to jockey Alex Berzer. I hope I pronounced that correct. And if I wasn't so blind, it wouldn't be so tough for me. But I can't see from here to my screen, which is about, I don't know, a foot away. Terrible. Hopefully, though, I have a little bit better insight to the horses than I do my actual ability to see, Terry. So we're on race number 6, right?
That's correct.
All right. So race number 6 for me. Let me pull the picks back up again. Race number 6. Race number 6 is the pace setup looks a little bit like this. There are 2 front runners with 1s across their post position in their wins. The remaining 6 prefer to come home from off the pace. 2 of those 6 can, if they choose, come a little bit closer to the front, but 4 of those have only won from the back. If they don't burn each other out, I expect that the 2 front runners probably have a pretty good shot of winning this race. Number 5, Kona Coast, is one of those front runners and improved across the board in its last race from start to finish. Running 1 mile last time out, 2 seconds faster than he did in the previous 1 mile start. When you see fraction improvements like that, it's almost always a sign of a horse that's getting into good form. Number 4, Perfect Comeback, has 4 consecutive speed figure increases, which ended in the top last race speed figure last out, is one of those closers that I mentioned that can hug the front runner. So if the pace is fast, I'd expect the 4 Perfect Comeback to make a perfect comeback. If the pace is slow, I would expect them to be forwardly placed. Number 8, Second Bold, is the other front runner. This is Terry's favorite angle. Horses coming in from Golden Gate. So I think that's a track drop, in my opinion, from Golden Gate to Turf Paradise. Does have some early speed and just missed out last time. Just missed out on the win last time out. And finally, number 8, Blame It on Kitty, is another closer that ties for the top late pace figure in the field with perfect comeback. Just needs to get off to a little better start than it did last time out to perhaps bring this race home. Race number 7, Terry, you're keeping us busy, my friend. This is your best bet of the day. And race number 7 is a 6.5 furlong optional claiming $20,000, purse of $27,500, Terry. And just real quick recap, profile of a winner at 6.5 furlong, 98 races, 70, so a lot of them won by speed, 38 of the 98 going wire to wire, and it doesn't matter which color you wear, Terry. What matters is this is your best bet with the number 3. I almost made Departure my best bet too, but I didn't. So why do you like the 3?
Well, I like the 3 because he has won the last 2 races in a row, the last one at today's distance. So he's going for a hat trick this time. He has a high percentage winning jockey and a bullet workout on March 15th, 46 flat handling, best of 21. He marks off a lot of boxes. And then number 1, Black Ops. He needed the last race after taking a 2-month break, and he has the highest last speed rating. He's tied with another one. Drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The jockey in the last 7 days has won 7 out of 21 races. And then number 8, Swamp Souffle, won 3 out of the last 7 races. He has the highest last speed rating. He tied with Black Ops. And the trainer wins 34% of the time when bringing the winner of their last race back to race again. And then number 7, Baltimore Bicho, won two of the last 4 races, and he likes Turf Paradise and the distance.
So as I mentioned, this is a distance that usually is won by the early leaders, but there's not going to be a clear front runner. At least there's not one in the past performances that has ones across the lines there. 6 of the 9 in here are closers, Terry, with 3 that usually chase and then close. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the one who gets to the lead go wire to wire. Number 3, Departure, has won 2 in a row and has a bullet workout since his last win, and is 2 for 2 so far at Turf Paradise. So perfect record. You can't beat that, right?
No,
Black Ops tied for the top last race speed figure, and I expect this is a horse that will improve in its second start off a layoff. And I just noticed that our picks are exactly the same. So once again, you've hacked into my computer, Terry.
That's right.
Number 8, Swamp Souffle, is the other that tied for the top last race speed figure. Trainer Jose Silva Jr. follows a win with another one 34 times out of the last 98 times he brought a horse back to the track after a win. This is a horse that improved from start to finish in its last race. And then Baltimore Bicho. This horse has one of the best early pace, late pace combinations in the field. And when you look back at its last 10 races, 8 of them have been what I call high quality starts, where the horse is in contention to win the race at the end. That brings us to the end of today's picks, Terry. Race number 8, 7.5 furlongs on the turf, so it's a little bit of a distance in surface for us. Claiming 8,500, non-winners of a 2 lifetime, and the profile of a winner of a 7.5 furlong Turf Paradise track race looks like this: 37 races, 23 won by speed, so you got to be fast. 11 of which went wire to wire. That's a pretty good number. And 1 through 7 to play fair. But that post position that you're starting with, Terry, 8+, there is a big penalty if you wear an 8+. So actually, the 8 horse, Octavius Prime, was my top pick, but I slid it down to second because of that post position penalty. You obviously are not afraid. Terry knows no fear. Why are you going to stick with the 8 horse?
Well, I like this horse because she comes in from Golden Gate Fields again, is another one I like, and she went up in class in her last race to 50,000.
Quick question: if they brought a donkey in from Golden Gate Fields, would you make it your top pick?
Well, it depends on how many donkeys are running at Turf Paradise. Anyway, not really. I don't always pick Golden Gate Fields, but a lot of times I do. It depends on how they've done there. But this horse, it went up in class to a $50,000 allowance race and only lost by 4 1/4 lengths. So it wasn't really bad. The trainer wins 30% of the time when he runs a horse back after claiming it, the second race after claiming it. And this horse is going to like the shorter distance. They've added Lasix and has a good workout at Turf Paradise. 1 minute and change is the best, fifth best out of 11. Then I like number 2, Blues Rapper. Finished third in the last 5 races, so he really likes running third, or she does. The last 2 was on the turf. His best turf speed, or her best turf speed, is the fastest among today's starters. And then I like number 6, Club Mesquite. My Promise. Returning to the turf should help, and she drops in class today. And I like number 1, High Flying Tiger. He finished. He switches to high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and the rail post is winning at the 18% clip.
Well, I'm going to start this race, Terry, because this one has a lack of early pace as well, with one front runner, and maybe 2, maybe 3 out of this group that can chase the leaders. The rest are usually well off the pace, and this is going to be my long shot. It's 5-1, so I went with the absolute minimum, Terry. But Miss Wassa drops in class here and has been able to get the lead when facing softer company, like she's going to face here. Number 8, Octavius Prime, really was my first pick, Terry. I dropped it. Is the one that I mentioned that does have some speed in here. Comes in from Golden Gate, as I mentioned. That's a track drop, in my opinion. And along with that early pace, that horse also has first-time Lasix. Man, you know I love that first-time Lasix with speed angle.
Yes.
Number 6, Club Mesquite, is another that's dropping in class here that can stay in touch with the leaders at this level and had some really nice late pace improvement. And I've been noticing in a lot of races, horses that show more as the race is coming to a close, sometimes they carry that momentum off into the next race. And then finally, closing out my day with Charming Vintage. Was a tough call over your number 2, Blues Rapper, but this one had the last race speed figure in a wire-to-wire win. As I mentioned, there's not a whole lot of speed here. I expect this horse could be better in its third start off the bench. The only question is a class question. Can it handle the step up in competition, Terry? That brings us to the last race of the day, which means, guess what? We have to pull up our prime rib pick fours, Terry. And you kind of follow the same strategy I did last time. You went majorly big in the first leg, and you got your weak link somewhere in the middle with your best bet. So you went 5 by 4 by 2 by 4. I had to redouble check that math, but it does work out to $96, as does mine. I went 4-4, 3-4. I agree with you. Race 7 should be the one where we can find the winner the easiest. Hopefully, we can cash both our hot dog and our pick fours on this day, Terry, where we're supposed to have some luck. Right?
I hope so, yeah. And I think it's going to pay pretty decent, because I don't think there are going to be any real hard favorites today.
I suspect not either. So just a real quick recap. Here are all of our picks at Turf Paradise today. Our hot dog pick 4 starting in race 1. Our prime rib pick 4 starting in race 5. Thankfully, we don't have to face a race of death today, Terry, where one race can kill both tickets. Here are our box it ups. And then finally, Terry, it is a day where we hope that everybody has good luck. CC, good luck. Red pants for you and good luck. Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
Yeah, well, if you like what you saw, then go ahead and subscribe to us on I lost my track there for me. So on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter at Horse Racing the number 2 Day. Like us on Facebook at Horse Racing the number 2 Day, and on Instagram the same at Horse Race number 2 Day.
Mm-hmm. And then Charles says, forget hot dog pick 4s. Here's a Vienna sausage pick 4 at Parks. Single, 5, 6, 4, 7 for 50 cents straight. So hopefully that one comes home, because nothing like turning 50 cents into $1. What were you going to say, Terry?
I was going to say, is that the early? And it is. I see it says it's the early one.
Early pick 4. All right, folks, that wraps up today. Again, remember that tonight, Sean and I will be back for Horse Center at 8 p.m. You're going to make sure you want to check that out. As always, it should be a fun show. I do want to thank Shane French, Ron Wisenant. I'm sorry, Ron, about that. And Lori Hay for giving us a thumbs up and loving the show. If you too like what you see, please subscribe on YouTube. Go back and watch a few more shows so that we can ramp up those viewer hours. Give us a thumbs up or a like on Facebook. The more of them we get, the higher we go in their algorithms, the more people will find the show. We certainly appreciate that. We hope, Terry, that CC and all of your picks in your day, Terry, end up in the
Winner circle.
Absolutely. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic Monday. Terry and I will be back tomorrow, same time, for our favorite track and your favorite track, Parks. Have a great Monday.
Goodbye.